basketball, the cops came to the area with bullhorns and a curfew has been called. And those youth were not about to leave that area. The attitude was the hell with the police. We want to play basketball and we haven't done anything. So at that time it occurred to maybe 8 of us, including Reverend Brazil, Reverend Bowles, were able to contact the city manager, David Rowland, and convince him to call the police back down to the county city building. We just told the young people that, hey, we got to vacate this area. The cops will be back up here if we can't get you out of here. Let's go. It wasn't automatic that they just walked away, but we were able to persuade them. So there was no confrontation.
It could have been very ugly. There was Reverend Brazil and Reverend Bowles that really kind of got the kids off the street and slowed that thing down.
I don't know why that stain goes black.
Heard demands from black leaders.
We laid 3 demands on the city of Tacoma to improve the streets in the hilltop area so that they would be comparable to the streets in other neighborhoods of Tacoma. Number 2 was to hire 10 black police officers yesterday. Maybe that was 250 police officers. 1 was black. And number 3 was that the city should make a consistent, deliberate, ongoing effort to hire more blacks and minorities in city government. I would say the Mother's Day incident was the galvanizing issue that caused us to get up and do something.
The importance of the Mother's Day riot was that we were able to get an urban coalition of business people and community people together that decided we're not going to have a riot. We're not going to burn our city down. We're going to find some solutions to work out what was really festering. People who had no jobs couldn't get jobs.
The resulting partnerships added significantly to the efforts of the Urban League, the NAACP, and others. From these many strands, there coalesced in Tacoma a unique organization that has had a lasting impact on the entire community.
We call ourselves then the Concerned Black Citizens of Tacoma and Pierce County.
Yeah.
And in 71, Jim Walton came up with a new twist that we should organize a minority concerned task force.
Finally, we just really accepted the fact that we're really concerned about the promotion of black interests.
So we organized what we call the Black Forum.
To eventually call ourselves the Black Collective.
We're all equal. It doesn't matter that
Walton's part of that.
I'm just another
I want to join.
in that meeting.
The agenda, politics, civil rights, business, and education.
And so
I will be there.
They are brainstorming.
We have been the community sounding board. We meet 52 Saturdays a year, and we are always here. We are always on.
Voter registration, for example.
See you there, folks.
There's a need to look at who's going to be the next superintendent of schools in Tacoma. They're there.
Reminds me of Mildred, my sister-in-law. My sister's husband's mom. She's a teacher, retired.
The Black Collective has been quite productive in causing things to happen in Tacoma.
There are many examples of those who've achieved personal success and contributed to significant community progress.
Jack Tanner.
Network of the Black Collective.
I used to know his wife. I carpooled with her.
I was appointed by Governor Dan Evans to the state parole board. I went on to set a record. I was reappointed by the...
I think her name was Glenda.
I was the longest serving consecutive
or Gwen or something. I can't remember. She used to work for at OFM for a minute.
With the first African American to the city council, the first African American mayor of the city of Tacoma.
Go, brother.
We ended up with half a dozen African Americans that have been elected to the city council. Beverly Grand, another black judge, when she was Beverly Johnson, and her father was a member of the Black Collective.
I tried to get her to represent me for my case. I'll tell you that story later.
The largest agency, the Department of Social and Health Services. managing the affairs of 19,000 employees.
I've seen him before.
1.3 million people with a budget of $13 million a day. And I was nurtured through this black collective, and it is no way that I would have been the first health director, the first African American who was in the position to run the state psychiatric hospitals, or the secretary of the SHS, had it not been for this collective.
These individuals and organizations created a new awareness of social justice. They paved the way for a more open society.
And all of this didn't fall out of the sky. It didn't just happen. The Black Collective, the NAACP, the Urban League, the Ministerial Alliance, and the rest of us banded together, and we made Tacoma a better Tacoma.
This transforming struggle in the Pacific Northwest continues, and the foundation laid by leaders of the past lies waiting for leadership for the future.
I would not want to give the impression that I did not like, love Tacoma. I do. I still say it's God's country, but I'm saying that it needs help.
If I were to assess Tacoma in terms of race relations, I would give Tacoma maybe a 78 on a scale of a 0 to 100.
My good friend and leader, Tom Dixon, is fond of grading things, so I will give us a grade. I think we get maybe a C-. We just passed the course. We have not distinguished ourselves in any way.
We are still not home free yet. There's still work to do.
There are always people who are prejudiced, I think. That's what happens, and so every once in a while an incident arises, and there you are, faced with it again.
What type of morality exists in this community that would put up the kind of resistance to equality that the power structure in Tacoma and Pierce County has put up?
My expectations in my 30s were that we were in fact going to cross over into the promised land.
People in this community have somehow persuaded themselves that they have been doing the right thing, that they're on the right side, and I said, where are your works? Show me your work.
In fact, things were going to change rapidly, and that in fact black people were going to be seen as equals among equals.
They said, well, I don't dislike so-and-so. I mean, the absence of malice is benign neglect.
Now, as you get older, you realize that you may take 2 or 3 real good steps forward, but don't get discouraged because every now and then you have a step or 2 backwards.
I wish I could think of something, make a wave a magic wand and have all the bad things go away, but not the way of the world.
I would not trade my life in Tacoma, and my life in civil rights, and my life engaged in these organizations for any other experience.
And the hope that I have for driving young people now, not to relive my dream, because my dream was to stop segregation. The dream has got to grow. I want the next growth to be excellent.
There is work to be done, and I mean, can you graduate with a C- average? Well, maybe you can.
Black people as entrepreneurs, black people who are doing more than flagging on jobs, but running the equipment, owning the company.
The stage is bigger now than it ever was before, because it is truly a global stage.